Hi, Mac. Don't fancy a trip out to the Bankses by any chance, do you?
No.
Didn't think you did.
What's going on there?
Nothing. Well, Mrs. Banks can't get the car started, so she gets on the blower to her husband and he gets on the blower to us.
Why don't they get hold of their local garage?
Well, they like being fussed with, don't they? These bosses' wives. Especially when they're being neglected in other areas, you know what I mean? I have heard tell that he's moved in with her next door.
Where'd you hear that?
I got spies, mate.
Well, you better tread carefully, mate.
Look, live and let live, that's my motto. Can't be a lot of laughs for his missus, though, can it?
Are you going to go over there?
Well, he's going to give me a ring when it's convenient.
For us or them?
Well, could be two chances. Yes?
Come on, Nobby's back.
Oh, Nobby's back. Put the flags out.
What's the damage like?
Well, it's a near side wing, it's the bonnet, and it's the windscreen, it's probably the door panels as well, and...
Mechanically?
We await your expert opinion, Sydney. I should get onto the insurance company. See if I can grab an assessor, okay?
All right.
Yeah. Yes?
I'm looking for Sharon Metcalfe.
Then you found her. How can I help you?
By saying goodbye to my father.
84 quid's worth for meat? You're joking. That can't be bad, considering she's a vegetarian.
It's no joke, Sid.
Well, how long did it take her to run this lot up, then?
He said she'd been there 4 months, always paid up regularly. That's why he let it run on a bit. When he went to check it out this time, she'd done a bunk.
How do you get the address for you?
She'd given my name to the landlord as a reference.
Tell him to get lost.
Eh?
Don't pay it.
Oh, can't.
She ran the bill up, didn't she?
Not even so, man.
Well, catch me doing it, mate.
I'm responsible.
Who says?
But look, we're not legally separated.
Well, it's about time you were, sunshine. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well, that's a big step.
Well, it's a big step you got to take, because otherwise you're going to get lots of these little things floating in through the letterbox, I tell you.
Oh, what happened to your marriage?
What?
Fell apart, did it? Do you specialise in that sort of thing? Well, my daddy doesn't. He's been a faithful husband and a lovely daddy to all of us. So why do you have to come along and mess things up?
It was not a question.
His marriage was fine, even if yours wasn't.
Who said anything about me being married?
Weren't you?
No, dear. I never have been married.
Oh, well, that says it all, doesn't it? You just play around. Well, go and play somewhere else.
Okay, which one are you? Are you Joyce or are you Penny?
Joyce is in Canada.
I know that, but there have been phone calls, and your father was afraid that she might come over.
Why should Daddy be afraid of Joyce?
Okay, he was worried that she might come over.
Well, I'm here instead. Oh, it was great news for her, too. All out there, having my mother in pieces on the telephone. You've got one hell of a lot to answer for.
I know.
Then why don't you leave him alone?
I don't suppose it has occurred to you that we might need each other, you know?
Oh, that.
In all sorts of ways. It hasn't got to be fun. It hasn't got to be flip. It can, in fact, be very meaningful.
Oh, very touching.
Look, I know how hurt you must be.
No, you don't know anything. You hadn't even seen me 5 minutes ago. I have lived a lifetime with my father, and I don't want any other daddy in the world. We all love him very much. You may think Mummy doesn't show it, but she feels it.
What I think about her does not really matter. That one is down to your father.
If my father was left alone, there wouldn't be any problem. He is coming back to us. And the sooner you get that into your stupid head, the better.
Everything all right, ladies?
Yes, Sydney, everything is all right.
You go kidding your little self. It is not all right. But it's going to be before I've finished.
That's what I like to see, a satisfied customer.
That was Penny, Oliver's daughter.
Oh, manning the barricades, eh, kid?
That's it. When you're under attack, you close ranks.
Millicent, you haven't had your coffee break yet, have you?
No, Mrs. Hunter.
No, well, I'll take over until Gail gets back. Good morning. Good morning. Is Mrs. Hamilton in?
Oh.
Mrs. Kate Hamilton? Yes. No, I'm afraid she's not staying here. Oh, another wasted taxi. Where'd she go to? Hello, David. Don't you know me?
Lucy.
Now, there's a warm welcome from a man I lived with 6 years ago.
Kate's daughter.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Well, shall we go through to the office?
I hope your wife didn't misunderstand me
Misunderstand you about what?
when I said that I'd live with you.
She knows your mother and you stayed with me once.
And that my mother was only your housekeeper, I hope. And me, still only a schoolgirl. Once.
Why did you expect to find your mother here? Had she arranged to meet you here?
No, I haven't seen her for years. I only heard this morning that she'd been here and thought that she still might be. Did she leave a forwarding address when she went?
Excuse me. Barbara, do we have a forwarding address for Kate? If you would, please. Well, she'll bring it through. Won't you sit down? Would you like coffee, tea?
Well, you haven't weathered too badly all this time. How do you think I have? Have I grown up to look like Mother?
No.
I suppose she must be looking pulled down, poor thing.
No.
She just sailed through the murder trial.
You've heard about that, but it wasn't murder. It was manslaughter.
I don't know whether this will be much help immediately, Miss Hamilton, but here is the forwarding address that your mother left for us a couple of months ago.
Oh, thank you. Do you know, I think I will have that cup of coffee after all.
Would you? For 3?
Now, David, I'll have to ask you to put me in the picture. Hello?
Well, I gather you heard about your mother's trial, but heard about it late because you were traveling abroad.
The things you gather, David, and that you feel on hearing the news, I rushed over to hold Mother's hand.
Haven't you?
No, I didn't know about the trial when I landed in England this morning. The last I'd heard of Mother, she was living with Tony Moran. So I went to his flat, all locked up. A neighbour told me that he'd been killed by his mistress, who'd been found guilty but had got off scot-free and had come to live at Crossroads on the money he'd left her. Do you know, it never crossed my mind that Mother could be the murdering kind. I thought that she must have had a bust-up with Moran and he'd got another woman in. It came as quite a bit of a shock to me, I can tell you. David, how did it happen? How did she kill him?
Darling!
Mum.
Oh, hello, dear. Come on in. Well, what a surprise. But what are you doing home?
I heard about it all.
Oh, how?
From Joyce.
Oh,
Oh, it's disgusting.
darling, there wasn't any need
Are you
for...
all right, Mum?
Yes,
Honestly?
honestly.
Poor Mumsy.
Come on in. My goodness me, you really caught me by surprise. It's lovely. Now, sit down.
Why was I left out?
What?
Not told. I wouldn't have known now if it wasn't for Joyce.
Darling, I didn't want you worried.
Oh, that's not fair. What's Kevin done
Done?
about it?
Well, nothing.
I take it he does know.
Oh, yes, it's almost common knowledge.
The neighbours and everybody?
No, not them, but
That's something.
it's just the people at the garage, Daddy's office and motel, I suppose, and Glenda's
Oh, well,
family.
they don't matter so much, do they? Listen, has Kevin talked to Daddy then?
Yes, often.
There's precious little to show for it. What is the matter with them both?
I think Kevin doesn't really care very much.
Oh, Mum, how can you say such a thing?
He seems to want to stand aside and just let us get on with it.
Why did you telephone Joyce instead of me?
I thought you'd be on his side, too.
What's all this talk about sides? There's only one side to be on. Ours. It's all of us against her. Oh, it is, Mum. You couldn't have doubted that. You couldn't. I've already been to see her. At the garage, I told her what I thought of her.
What did you think of her?
Wasn't quite as ghastly as I'd thought she'd be, but, well, there's nothing for him to go overboard about, is there? She's a bit hard, I'd say. But not hard enough to withstand us. Not now we're together.
Oh, Pen, darling. You don't know how good it is to see you.
Hi, Mr. Banks.
Sid. Hello, mess that car out there?
Say that again. Anyone that overtakes on a three-way highway want their head examined. Listen, talking about cars, this going out and collecting Mrs. Banks's car.
Oh, she hasn't been on, has she?
No, but I mean, it's going to be a bit difficult. We're a bit pushed, you know.
Yeah, look, it's not urgent. Perhaps one day next week when you're free. And book it, will you, double time?
Fine, lovely time.
Fact is, Sid, I don't think there's actually anything wrong with her car. She's just using it as an excuse to get me running round there.
All right.
So what I want you to do is go over it, see that it's absolutely spot on, so she can't use it as an excuse anymore.
Okay, just leave that to me. Listen, will your daughter be out there?
Daughter?
Yeah, you know, Penny, the one that follows Mrs. Banks, you know, the fiery one.
Well, what's happened?
Well, there was a set-to in here this morning between her and Sharon. There was, you know, quite a...
Was there?
Well, I thought you knew about it.
No.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Maybe I shouldn't...
No, I need to know. What time was this?
Well, I don't know. Nobby just come back from the pile-up, and it'd be about 10 o'clock.
Who's coughing up, you know?
Oh, I'll move that.
He had a visitor.
Yes.
Why didn't you say something?
I didn't know how to.
You oughtn't to keep these things to yourself. We share it, That way we lessen it.
Do we?
What was it like?
A bit loud.
She got no right to come storming in here getting at you. She'd have got me at the office.
You know, the funny thing is, I quite liked her.
It was her mother.
I beg your pardon?
Put her onto it.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to find out.
What? What are you going to do? Oh, now come on, Oliver, can't we just leave it?
It's not a question of leaving it. I don't like the way they're playing this. It's me they should be getting at, not you, and they damn well know it.
Of course, they must wonder at the club what's happened to us. Haven't been near the place for weeks. I think I've managed to gloss over it all, but there is bound to come a time. Oh, bother. Hello.
Oliver.
Oh, hello.
What the hell do you mean by it?
By what?
Sending Penny round to see Sharon.
I didn't.
I've made it perfectly clear I won't have Sharon subjected to those kind of pressures. You have no right.
Don't you tell me my rights. And while we're on the subject, perhaps you'd like to know that Penny arrived home after she'd been to the garage. I had no idea she was going.
I see. In that case, I'm sorry. Is she there now?
Yes, she is.
Well, could I have a word?
It's Daddy. He wants to speak to you.
Hello, Daddy.
Penny, I wish you hadn't done this.
Yes, I expect you do.
You'd have better to see me first.
Better for whom?
For everyone.
Is that what she said?
It's what I say. Listen, Penny, I want to talk to you. Now, come to Crossroads Motel about 7 o'clock tonight, right?
All right. I'll see you tonight, then. Goodbye.
Penny, you won't weaken.
I've heard about mothers complaining they never know where their daughters are at night, but I never expected to experience it the other way round. Perhaps I should have stayed on the continent.
And how long have you been here?
I haven't been anywhere long, since I was 16.
So what sort of jobs have you had that's enabled you to move around like that?
Oh, no jobs, Mrs. Pollard. Just men.
Sweet. And you haven't told us yet why you want to see your mother.
I thought perhaps that she might be able to get me some money off Tony Moran. He had his touchable moments.
Mightn't J. Henry know where Lucy's mother is?
I was wondering when you were going to wonder that, David.
J. Henry, who's he?
My husband.
Oh, is he on the continent too?
He bought the casino which Tony Moran left to your mother. He asked her to consider taking up her old position of manageress when the casino reopens. Also, there's a matter of signing the final documents. So he might know when she intends to come back.
Fine. Where is he then?
He's in London. He may be back later this afternoon. If not, he'll telephone. So why don't you tell me where you're going to be staying in Birmingham, and then I can get him to get in touch with you.
I never know where I'm going to be staying until I get there. Or I'm taken.
Well, either way, ring me when you do know. And, well, or else you could pop back here later.
Thank you. In the meantime, can the motel cash whatever traveller's checks I've got left?
Yes, I think we can manage that. You come with me. I never said a word. Oh, David. J. Henry, before he left, asked me to give you this for you to check through. It's just his comments for the development plan.
That you, Kevin?
Oh, it's me.
Oh, hello, love. I wasn't expecting you for lunch.
Doesn't matter if we won't stretch for 3. Sandwich will do me.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'm just a bit surprised. That's all I was expecting, Kevin. Oh, there's plenty there. Hey, we've had good news from the hospital. Glenda's had her implant. The egg's fertilised. And she's going to have it all right.
Oh, that's great.
Mac, feeling poorly or something?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Oh, something's the matter.
I had a bit of a surprise this morning. Well, this arrived for me.
What is it?
A butcher's bill.
£84 for meat?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit steep myself.
A bit steep? It's outrageous. Is this for when you were living next door before Trina left you?
Oh, no. We always paid our bills as we went along there. This is for now, for her and Ben.
Oh, she's feeding him on fillet steak for breakfast. Oh, no, there must be some mistake. It can't be right.
Oh, if the butcher let her get an account and let it run on a bit, I suppose it is possible.
Even so, £84 for meat. I mean, nobody would spend that amount with a child. Anyway, she wouldn't be buying a joint, would she, for a baby and herself? Don't you go paying it till you find out more about it. Hey, you ask the butcher for details. Don't you go letting yourself in for something like that. Anyway, he might give you Trina's address.
Yeah, the butcher went round to see her and she done a bunk. My worry is now is how many more of these going to keep landing on me doorstep? Is she going to be running around, letting up bills like that everywhere?
Oh, well, if she starts doing that, you'll have to put a stop to it, won't you?
Well, she's still my responsibility, she and Ben.
She had a responsibility to you, didn't she? But it didn't stop her running away, did it? She left you. No, I mean, reasonable demands for money, that's OK. Perhaps you are responsible. I wouldn't call this reasonable. You'll have to do something about it, Mac, if it goes on. You'll have to talk to your solicitor or go and put a notice in the paper.
A paper?
Yeah, you've seen it, surely. After such and such a date, I am no longer responsible for my wife's death. Something like that.
Oh, I couldn't do that, Kath. A paper? And let the whole world know our business? Oh, no.
Well, you'll have to do something, love. Otherwise, where's it going to end?
Well, that seems reasonable enough.
Well, Richard wrote it, so of course it's reasonable.
You've quite an opinion of Richard, haven't you?
So has J. Henry.
I never would have expected Richard Lloyd to provide an area of matrimonial accord.
So which one of them are we going to warn first? Lucy, that Richard's staying here, or Richard, that Lucy's in town?
I hadn't thought of that.
Do you think he'll want to see her after what happened between them 6 years ago?
No.
What about her?
It was an unfortunate experience for both of them, wasn't it? Well, we know where Lucy is. Do you know where Richard is?
He's in Coventry, doing some work for J. Henry.
Oh, that's him out of harm's way for the moment.
Yes, but he's liable to come back this evening, as indeed might she.
Well, she's got to come back in here for her coat when she's cashed her checks. Could you, just mention Richard Lloyd casually, and I'll take it from there according to her reaction?
From there to where, David?
Did I come in with a coat?
Yes.
Always scattering things.
You haven't told me whether you're going to ring me or call back later.
Who knows? Between now and this evening, I might have collected some dishy Frenchman who'll take me back to the continent with him. In which case, I shan't need to find Mother at all, shall I? Goodbye, and maybe see you, maybe not.